So I put the 3 mil plastic over the maze, or I'm still working on it actually. This is how it's starting to look. One thing I figured out is that if you just have the edge coming out like this and you put these staples here, it can rip away pretty easily, especially, you know, the wind could possibly rip that loose. What I found that was better, if you fold it several times and then staple that, and then it's a lot thicker and it's not gonna rip loose. As you can see, I put some putty right there, and then I had to sand it like crazy everywhere, and you want to put the putty on as thin as possible. I kind of went crazy with it and put it like everywhere, and then I had to take the rotary sander and just sand it all off. You could see like I had put it like everywhere, hoping to not have to actually do any hardcore sanding on this stuff. What it turned out is that that was pretty much a complete waste of time and created a whole day's worth of work for me. Also, they sell at the store, they sell basically it's Elmer's glue, and I went around and put the Elmer's glue all over everything, hoping that, you know, I could just sand that real light and then I'd have these smooth surfaces, but that also didn't work out. But what really did work, because now it's pretty dang smooth actually. You could totally run your hands across here, and of course being railings, people are going to do that. What did end up working out is that I took and hand sanded it with a block sander with the 220 grade sandpaper, and just went over every single part of it and broke the edges and everything, and underneath as well. And that's really, and of course I even had to do the posts because people are gonna go like this as they come around. But that's really what smoothed it out, is that 220. Also, you can see I put in these supports everywhere. That really lent support to the overall structure, tons of support, and kept it from being wobbly at all. On the hand railings I put in support down at the bottoms. You can see I put them the bottoms, the middle, and the top. And also that kind of, these ones on the railing kind of round out the maze, and for some reason it just looks really good. As far as putting the 3 mil drop cloth on, I found one of the most important things is just to really be a perfectionist about it. Otherwise this whole thing's just gonna look sloppy. The other thing is lots and lots of staples. You know, this doesn't even have as much as I'm usually doing. Like lots of staples everywhere, several layers of them. I'm using a staple gun with T50 10mm staples. As far as putting this stuff on, if you lay it in the dirt really sticks to it, and it's not coming off of that stuff. It has like static cling to dirt. So what I did is I took it over to my porch, and I would cut out a little bit oversized sections by, you know, a good 6 inches, and top, bottom, sides, everything. And then I would come around and staple that down, and then of course the excess I would either, well, usually just fold over, but for the top I kind of just hung it down because of rain factor. If water hits here, it's just gonna go down anyways. Now the top is one continuous piece, and how I got that on was pre-cut the roll. Before unrolling it, you can just cut a foot section, and that cuts all the way across with some scissors. Then I went clear to the end down there while I was standing inside the maze, and I put the end roll down there, and then I just walked backwards through the maze, and this main beam down the middle, I just rolled it along that beam until it went to the very end. And then that's the point where I just started unfolding it from the inside over the top beams. And then once it was all spread out over the top beams, then I came around the outside and started stapling it, of course starting with the very end down there just to really square it up. And then I left, you know, of course, some overhang right here and on all the sides. This section right here is actually the outcropping that I need to put some ghosts in. There's got to be something going on in the maze. Also gonna put a mummy in there and some black lights. Also some glow paint all over the walls. There's gonna be 4 different soundtracks running on left and right speakers from 2 different stereos. Also, I'm gonna have a speaker way over on the porch giving ambient sound for the cemetery. Okay, so cutting this stuff's pretty easy. You just take one of these rolls. I mean, this is part of a roll. You just throw it like it's a bowling ball down that way. And it rolls out. Then you get your tape measure. You're gonna measure it all the way down to there, which is 16 feet, and that's what I need. Then you're just gonna get your scissors and start cutting. Okay, to try to keep it from getting any dirtier, this plastic, I put down a sheet. Of course, you can just wash that sheet later, so it's no big deal. But how I put this on is I just spread apart the very end that I'm going to start with, and then as you can see, what I do is I start at the very bottom and I put in a staple and I just really line it up to the bottom because the top is going to overlap, and then I just put a staple here and there as I stretch it along the board. I'm going to staple it there, try and get it stapled on either side of this beam that comes out, and then I'm going to pull it all the way up to here, staple it again, and then just keep going all the way to the top. What you do later is you come back and you really put in all the staples that are going to hold it into place, but for now you just put in the basic amount that you need, and of course really square it up to the bottom. The top is just going to overhang and stretch over the top, or you might fold it several times and staple it, so that's not going to be a problem. Also, the top piece is going to have its own separate continuous cover. Okay, this sheet that I put on here, it had this weird like 45-degree angle kind of torque going across it like a fold, but here's what you do right here. Yeah, that's better. Is you just pinch the fold in and you just overlap it and staple it, and then see, you can square it up and nobody knows that your structure really wasn't perfect. Okay, so now it's looking like a haunt. It's looking good. Let's take a trip through.